In the previous video about meditation, we spoke about the importance of solitude. We spoke about the importance of inculcating a healthy habit of solitude, being comfortable with it. And it's not unless you can be comfortable with solitude that spiritual progress can begin. The most important phase of the journey of spiritual expression, the journey of spiritual development, the journey of spiritual ascension, specifically meditation, is becoming comfortable with solitude. Unless and until you're comfortable with solitude, you are unable to withdraw from the illusion, the Maya that surrounds you, that consumes you, that dictates how you look at the world and how you perceive it. That's stage one. Stage two is mindfulness. When you have overcome the fear of solitude, when you can't sit alone in a room and just close your eyes and just sit and meditate, and you can do that for a reasonable period of time. Let's say you can do that for 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, 12 days, and things like that. And you're finally at a phase where you are able to just take time off with yourself. Just be with yourself and be okay with all the thoughts that come up, with all the trauma that comes up, with all the self-doubt, all the anger, everything that can come up. When you are okay with that stage, you're no longer fearful, then you enter the second stage of meditation. The second stage of meditation is mindfulness. See, within you is everything that you need. You have all the knowledge, you have all the clarity, you have all the spiritual progress that has been amassed from previous lifetimes. You have all the inspiration, you have all the motivation, you have the solution to all of your problems here. To connect with this, you need to clear this. Okay? And mindfulness is about becoming very, very aware of why you do what you do. That's what it's about. It's about observing why you feel how you feel, why you have the fears that you have. It's like a conversation that you have with your mind, only that you're silent. You're listening to everything that your mind has to say to you, like a therapist. That is what mindfulness is. And so it helps to withdraw, to a beautiful place like this, or a monastery, or an ashram. It helps to withdraw. It helps to, come into the lap of nature, because nature provides you a lot of grounding. Nature provides you a lot of positive prana that is healing, that is cleansing, that aids this process. You can use crystals, you can use rosaries like Rudraksh, okay? You can use mantras, but if you start your mindfulness journey with those things, you're missing the point. Because mindfulness needs to be this bare-bone conversation where you are allowing your mind to hit you with all the chaos and also all the love that it has to offer, that it has to express. So how do you practice mindfulness? Well, I would assume that by now you have become comfortable with solitude. So if you're comfortable with solitude, that means you're comfortable sitting just by yourself, without a phone, without a book, without any external stimuli. just being there as it is in nature, being okay with your surroundings. When you do that, then what you need to do is you need to start focusing on everything that is around you. Just observing very slowly. Observe the noise of the fan, how that makes you feel. Can you listen to it? Do you ever pay attention to it? Observe the sensation of your bedsheet, the sensation of your couch, your socks, your carpet. Observe the various odors, the scents, the smells, the changes in light that you are able to perceive. Observe how you feel in this process of observation. Just observe, no judgment. Observe whatever thoughts come up. Without any judgment. That's the problem. We start judging, and in that process of judging, we shut our mind out. And so the mind is never really able to communicate with us the important things. And a lot of people are just moving through life being completely shut. The next step that you do is you allow yourself to feel whatever sensations you're feeling. And you observe them too. If you feel itchy, good. You are comfortable with solitude, right? You are able to just sit there, keep your eyes closed, right? So now, even if you're feeling itchy, you don't really have to act on it. You can just observe. Observe until this emotion comes, swells up, and then goes away. You're feeling aroused, you're feeling hungry, you're feeling angry. Observe those emotions. What do they want you to do? What are they trying to pull you towards? Observe them. And as you're observing them, slowly bring your attention inwards to the one and the only and the most powerful regulator of prana, of thought, of life itself, your breath. A lot of people start focusing on their breath in the beginning. You can do that, sure. But this is something that you should probably come to towards the end. You need to understand the various things taking place first that influence you. And then you need to reach out to the source energy that can control everything. Is it possible for you to be angry while breathing deep? No. Is it possible for you to get anxious while breathing deep? No. Is it possible for you to stay calm while breathing very fast? No. Your breath is the regulator of all prana. It's the regulator of all emotion. It's the regulator of all energy that enters and leaves the body. And awareness of the power of this breath can only be arrived at by mastering the awareness at the lower levels of conscious existence. Once you've done that, and then once you arrive at this breath, no matter what you're feeling, no matter how fearful you're feeling in that moment, no matter how angry you're feeling in that moment, just being with yourself in solitude, no matter how you're feeling, bring your focus back to your breath. Breathe. Take a deep breath. Exhale. Release. Let go. Do not hold on to even happy thoughts. Do not hold on to anything. Because all of these thoughts, all of these emotions, all of these stimuli, they exist beyond the veil of the illusion, beyond the veil of Maya. The highest purpose of meditation is to connect with the soul, and to connect with the soul, you need to learn to connect with the prana. Your breath goes in and out. But breath in itself is not what brings life. If that were so, we'd just pump corpses full of air and they'd become alive again. But you can't do that. That's because breath is also accompanied with prana. And prana is what runs the body. And so when you are conscious of your breath, you are also conscious of prana. And so you can choose to release stuck prana. You can choose to let go of any energy in your body that does not belong to you. Observe your thoughts. Question your emotions. What is the origin of this sadness? And be willing to listen. That is what mindfulness is. It's being a very patient, a very loving, and a very sympathetic listener to your mind, which sometimes may be going haywire because of the condition that you're imposing on it. It's a fact. We're born and pretty soon our parents start conditioning us a certain way, for better or worse. And we go to school, and then our teachers and society, the education system, they start conditioning us. We grow up, we get a job, the economy starts conditioning us. We're so heavily conditioned to be a certain way. But if so many people have problems with anxiety, if so many people have problems with depression, if so many people have problems, in fact, which are even rooted in physical problems, like erectile dysfunction. So many people have these problems because the mind is being forced to be a way that it naturally does not gravitate towards. So if you start listening to what your mind has to say, it will tell you a lot of important things. That is what mindfulness is. You don't have to sit cross-legged. You don't have to sit in Padmasana to practice mindfulness meditation. You don't have to, use those Tibetan bowls, meditation bowls to practice mindfulness. You don't have to use anything. You just need to be willing to listen to what your mind has to say. And you need to be able to listen to what is being said without judgment. And obviously, if you go back and you watch the other episodes of this series, journaling is something that helps a lot in this process. Journaling is more of an intellectual sort of way to connect with your thoughts, your mind. But mindfulness is connecting, in fact, even beyond what your mind has to say. Mindfulness has to connect with the energy that surrounds you. Quite often, you feel bad or you feel a certain way because you have unconsciously absorbed someone's energy. It happens. You meet somebody, they're in a negative frame of mind, you come back home and all of a sudden, you feeling crappy and you don't know what's the reason. The reason is you've unconsciously, by being sympathetic to someone, absorbed the negative energy. It happens at work. Probably happens in personal relationships, maybe happening, with your marriage as well, and you're not realizing it. So if you want to end, this toxic cycle, if you want to be the person who is healing cycles of negativity that have been propagated towards you unconsciously, then you have to be the person who is mindfully able to just have an honest conversation with why you're feeling how you're feeling, what is the origin of those emotions, even with physical symptoms. If you sit and you just ask yourself, Why am I feeling this way? What is the source of this problem? You will receive answers, maybe not answers in words, but you will receive visions. You will be reminded of trauma that you've learned to hide beneath the carpet. Trauma does manifest as illness. It's research, right? Water has memory. And so, if you are angry, your water molecules, they are shaped a certain way. If you are sad, something else is happening. If you're depressed, something else is happening. All throughout the day, it's difficult for us in the modern world to check everything that's going into our body, because you go out, you eat, you order a drink, mojitos, etc. No matter how healthy that is, you don't know the state of mind the person was in when he was making it. And then you absorb it unconsciously. And then you start feeling that way. And so, mindfulness is the second step, which is the easiest if you have mastered the steps before it. Because mindfulness is just self-love. That's all it is. Listening to yourself and being willing to be patient, being willing to have a very compassionate ear for what your mind, what your body, what your energy has to say to you. Now what do you do towards the end? You release that energy. Just release it. Let it go. That's it. Even if you release all your thoughts, all of that energy that you're carrying, anytime that you're not feeling the best, it's not going to result in you getting depleted. Because your soul is the natural nuclear reactor of all the energy that you need. If you're aligned firmly with your soul's purpose, if you're aligned firmly with your soul, you don't have to worry about anything else. It's when you are unable to connect with your soul that your troubles start. And mindfulness is going to help you overcome that. It's been a pleasure making this part. It's been wonderful. Do watch the other video as well, in which I have vlogged about my climb to this pristine location, Nagtipa. Isn't the view worth it though? That's it. That's all that counts. This is Jay Kaushal, writer, motivation speaker, and life coach, signing off. Thank you so much. Take care. Hari Om. If you want a personal session with me, you can just book one from the link given below in the description box. Thank you so much for watching. Next part coming soon. Thank you for your support.